Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 12 of Back to School Month. We're looking at our 30 favorite albums from our high school years. In my case, my high school years were 1980 to 1984, specifically September 1980 all the way through to June of 1984, because shortly after that, I was off to college. SUNY New Paltz. Yes, hello. But during the 4 years, listened to a lot of different albums. Really, mostly hard rock and metal, but, during the latter part of the 70s, I was listening to, some other things as well, which carried over into the 4 years that were not really, maybe not hard rock or metal. So you'll probably see a couple of those during the month as well. But this particular album, interesting history with this one. So this album came out May 7th, 1977. So it came out before I entered into high school, but I actually didn't buy this until the summer of 1980. So I think it was right before I entered into ninth grade that I bought this. And it was one of those days where my father used to work in New York City. So he would commute into the city from, upstate here in the Hudson Valley. He would take the train into the city every day, and he worked downtown near City Hall. And he worked right down the street from a place called J&R Music World, which, back in the day, to me, was one of the greatest music stores I had ever seen. And I remember, you had to go up to the second floor of the building, and that's where they had all the albums. And man, what a collection of albums they had. I mean, they had so much stuff. So, occasionally while we were on summer break from school, my brother and I would go into, maybe, once a month or, a couple times during the summer, we would go take the train with Dad in the morning and go down with him to his job. And, while he's working, we would kind of just, hang out in the office in like a break room or something like that. And then during the lunch hour, he would take us to Chinatown for lunch. And we would go stop in at J&R Music World. And I remember specifically the one day walking into J&R and flipping through the racks, I came upon Lights Out by UFO. And I don't know what it was about, because you look at the album, this Hypnosis album cover, it's kind of, what's going on here? I don't know. But there was something about the name of the band UFO, and, you see a couple guys with long hair, and I'm thinking, all right, this is probably some hard rock stuff. I never heard UFO before, but I'm going to take a chance on it. It was only a couple bucks. I think the LPs back in the day were like, $5.99 or something like that. It wasn't expensive, and I had just enough money, so I bought this. And then we went to Chinatown for lunch, and then my grandparents also lived not far from where my father worked. So what he did was, after lunch, he walked us down to my grandparents' house to drop us off to hang out for the rest of the afternoon so he can go back to work. And then at the end of the day, he would come get us, and we'd go take the train and head back home, back to the Hudson Valley. And I remember specifically being in my grandparents' apartment that afternoon. My grandparents had this really old Victrola stereo, one of the ones that was housed in this wooden case, and you'd open the doors up and you'd pull the stereo, the turntable out, and it was always on springs, so you pulled it out and it would shake and everything like that. And you had these tiny speakers in it. I remember I asked my grandma, is it okay if I play this album? Oh yeah, sure, just don't play it loud. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I put it on, and I was instantly transfixed by the guitar player, Michael Schenker, and just how really cool and catchy and hard rocking these songs were. Too Hot to Handle instantly grabbed me. That riff, just a good party hard rock anthem. Then you got Just Another Suicide, a good fast-paced melodic song. Then you got the ballad Try Me. You got the killer title track Lights Out, which I was like, wow, this is so good. Then side 2, Getting Ready, Alone Again, or the Love remake, the cool Electric Phase, and then the last song with the keyboards and the great guitar work and the strings and the soaring vocals, Love to Love, just an amazing song. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. But most importantly, I was just completely taken by this guy named Michael Schenker. And I really, always some people complain about the Ron Nevison production on this album and Obsession, but I never really minded it much. And this made me a lifelong UFO fan. And it continued with the next album. So, from here, I just wanted to scoop up more UFO records. And I really fell in love with the band and the personalities here. Phil Mogg on vocals. What a great singer. Of course, Michael Schenker on lead guitar. You got Paul Raymond on keyboards and rhythm guitar. This was Paul's first album with the band. Pete Way on bass guitar. Always wearing those weird outfits, right? And Andy Parker on drums. So, just really, really, grabbed me. And I remember like going to school and, starting up ninth grade, my freshman year in high school, just, a month or two after that. And, this to me was one of the cool discoveries. And I remember all of a sudden meeting other people who were like also discovering UFO right around that same time. But, interestingly enough, when I discovered UFO, Schenker had already left the band. So literally like a couple months later, right, or, within a year, Michael's releasing the Michael Schenker Group debut album, and we're getting into that, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, you've got UFO and the Michael Schenker Group. So it's just weird how that all kind of plays out. Very similar story with me in regards to Black Sabbath. I started getting into Black Sabbath in '79, right as Ozzy's already left the band. So by the time I'm getting into the band and starting to digest those Ozzy albums, Dio's in the band. And then a new album's out, Heaven and Hell, and it's with a new singer. So, and again, no internet back then. So really hard to get this news about what's going on with some of these bands unless you were reading, a lot of the rock magazines. But even then, by the time the magazine publishes and gets in your hands, that news is already old. So it's weird how we kept up with things back in the day when it comes to music and what's going on with bands and album releases. Because it's not like today when you know everything instantaneously, like before it happens. Back then you were getting stuff late. It's like, oh, did you hear that such and such is now the singer for whatever band? It's like, yeah, apparently it happened 4 months ago. And you were just like, oh, yeah, the news travels slowly. Well, now, news travels way too fast, I think. But yeah, Lights Out from UFO. One of the great hard rock records of the 70s from the UK. A great band. And Michael Schenker, baby. That's right. So let us know what you think of Lights Out down in the comments below. But more importantly, list your pick number 12, day 12 here, down in the comments as we're all looking back on our high school years and figuring out, kind of trying to remember, go back in time to what our favorite albums were that we listened to the most during those 4 years or however many years of the last bit of school that you experienced where you live, right? So again, here it's 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade. My age was 14 to 18. So, but everybody else may vary a little bit there. So thanks for watching. Please hit that like button before you leave us today, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell. We also have down below in the video description the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page where you can get all sorts of great Sea of Tranquility shirts and hats and hoodies and stickers and mugs and all that sort of thing. We've been wearing lots of them here on the channel, and we also 4 of our most popular designs are now available on Amazon. So if you go down to the link below, you can actually go over to Amazon and get any of those 4 designs at a greatly discounted price. That's like an introductory type thing. So if you want to take advantage of that, I think it's the dragonfly, the new moth design, the whale design, and the Prague design, the in the Prague Sea with the space, the planets or, whatever it is. So I think those are the ones that are available. So if you go in that link below, you can hop over to Amazon and order those at a discount. And also don't forget, hope to see some of you at Sea Tranquility Fall Fest in just a couple weeks at the Chance at Poughkeepsie, New York for a full day of fun. Get your tickets now, and we look forward to seeing you there. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pete Pardo. Stay tuned for the Hudson Valley Squares tonight. Till then, take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.